Hi guys, it's Michelle, and today's video is going to be another video where we talk about people who remember their past lives. Specifically, a lot of these tend to be kids. It's very terrifying to me, and yeah, I hate it because I just reincarnation scares me. I don't know why, it just does. But nonetheless, you guys really like when I do these videos, and also I find them to be very interesting and scary. But before we get into it, I would like to thank Scentbird for sponsoring this video. So Scentbird is a monthly subscription service that gives you the opportunity to sample from over 600 different fragrance brands. Scentbird lets you choose a new designer fragrance every month for just $15. And with each fragrance, you get a 30-day supply, which is about 120 to 140 sprays, which is way more than you would get in a little trial sample from a store. And you can also upgrade to receive 2 or 3 products each month. Scentbird partners with top brands like Gucci, Prada, and Versace, as well as more indie brands like Glossier, Nest, and Taka. So you know that you're getting 100% authentic scents all the time. And of course, as well as perfumes, they have colognes. Plus, they have product categories like skincare, wellness, and makeup. They carry brands such as Kapari, Glam Glow, Recipe Tarte, and more. So I was quite excited when Scentbird reached out, and these are the perfumes that I got this month. So first of all, the packaging is super cute and very easy to use. I vibe with a lot, and of course you could also take it out as well. And the perfumes that I got is the Burberry Brit EDT Eau de Toilette, and it's amazing, obviously, and it's so easy to use these little slide up things, and it's super helpful because they come in different colors as well, so of course you can know which perfume is which, and all you have to do is do a little twist up moment. It's so great. This one is the Donna Karan Cashmere Mist, which smells amazing as well. It's quite musky, cashmere, really. I mean, that's the best way to describe it, is the name. And then my literal favorite, I'm so excited about this one because you guys know I'm obsessed with the Plaza Hotel. I don't know if you know that. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that. And I literally love it, and it smells incredible. So one day a few weeks ago, I made my friend call the Plaza and ask them what fragrance they pump out into the Plaza lobby, because it smells incredible if you've ever been. That is basically gardenia scent. So I searched up gardenia on Scentbird and found this Taka perfume in Florence, and it is my new favorite scent. So if you want to try Scentbird and get 30% off, you can use my coupon code and click the link in the description box below. With my 30% off coupon code, it's just $10 for your first month, which is super great. Also, you can download their iOS/Android app, which is so convenient to use, and I will link it down below as well. But yeah, thank you to Scentbird for sponsoring this video, and definitely check them out. So let's get into it. Sorry I look different in the intro and outro. I filmed that different day. I had to refilm some stuff. So let's get into the stories. My favorites of these stories is usually when the parents could figure out a connection, or the kid even remembers his full name. I think that it's so interesting to see that these people have actual stories, and that potentially these children are their souls reincarnated. It's actually terrifying, but the first story is definitely one of those cases. It's all about a boy named Luke Rowellman. Luke started weirding out his parents around the age of 2 when he began to call everything Pam. It was really weird. His mom, Erica, was kind of concerned because they didn't know anyone named Pam. It was just a really random name for him to just start calling everything. He became super attached to the name Pam, naming all of his toys Pam. And then one day his mom finally asked, "Who is Pam?" He said, "Well, I used to be, but I died. I went up to heaven, I saw God, and then eventually God pushed me back down, and I was a baby, and you named me Luke." Could you imagine if your child said that to you? This is why I low-key am terrified to have kids. Of course, this really freaked out Luke's parents, so his mom, Erica, was asking him other questions about Pam, what can you tell me about Pam? Who is Pam? Basically said Pam was him when he was a woman, and she had dark hair and dark skin, and that she lived in Chicago and she would use the Chicago train system. Luke also claimed that Pam passed away in a fire, and that he was I just remember the building, coming down with the fire. And that's kind of all the information that the parents got, and Erica was just maybe I could find something with this. Not only that, but the kid has never been to Chicago. They were from Ohio, and I don't know, it's just weird that a kid would know so much about the train system in Chicago. Like, it's just really random. So, of course, this was quite baffling to his parents. Mom Erica decided to do some more research. She actually found that there was a fire in Chicago in 1993 at Paxton Hotel, where sadly there were 19 victims of this fire. Sadly, among the victims of the fire, there was a woman named Pamela Robinson, who was in her 30s at the time. It was really sad and also shocking for Erica because obviously Pam, that's when she started to wonder, is my son like this woman reincarnated? So what she decided to do, and this is actually on TV, like you could watch this clip in the show The Ghost Inside My Child, which is like one of my favorite programs because I just think it's so crazy and interesting. Parents print out several pictures of different women who look similar to Pam and then a picture of Pam. They show it to their son Luke and ask him if anyone looks familiar, and he immediately pointed to the picture of actual Pam and said, "That's Pam, that's me." Then he even went on to talk about remembering how that picture was taken and when that picture was taken, and if that's true, I cannot imagine like how creepy that would be. It's just pretty chilling in general to even think that like your kid would, I would like literally freak out. I'd be so scared. That's like genuinely really scary. I mean, it's like beautiful, I guess, if you look at it in a certain way. Reincarnation really freaks me out. It's just like, I don't know why it freaks me out so much. A lot of people like it, I get it, and I get that, but for me, I'm terrified. It's almost like unbelievable. Like, I wish the parents were just lying, but like, I just feel like what is the point of lying about that? It just doesn't make sense for them to lie. And that's what's most scary to me. The next story is pretty absurd, and it is about a woman named Hannon Mounsauer. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. She was a Lebanese lady who married a policeman named Farouk and had 3 children. However, when she was giving birth to the 3rd child, there were a lot of complications. She told her husband that she was going to die soon and that she would reincarnate into a girl and have all of the memories of her past life. Hannon actually passed away a couple years later, and before her death, she tried to call her daughter Lila, but she didn't end up making it. 10 days after Hannon's death, a woman named Suzanne Gannon was born. When Suzanne was only 16 months old, she would pick up a toy phone and start saying, "Hello, Lila," which so creepy if you think about it. And at first her parents didn't really know what was going on. They kind of just brushed it under the rug until Suzanne got a little bit older and she started to remember more things. So Suzanne actually remembered all 13 names of the people in her past life. She was, Hannon was determined, and apparently Suzanne followed through with the situation, and she remembered all of the names, even found where her previous life husband Farouk was living. Then they finally met, and Farouk always considered Suzanne as part of the family, and they were like in touch for the rest of their lives. But I wonder like what that's like, because like obviously if you're a soul, she had these memories, but like did she also have memories of herself? Because usually these kids do. It's just really interesting to see that they like met up and like kept in touch and were like a part of each other's lives. Like imagine, I don't know, I just think that that would probably be really, really comforting for the family, knowing that like their soul of their like loved one lived on. But it's also really terrifying and also scary for the person, like the Suzanne, like the new person, because I'm sure she has her own life and her own soul as well. I don't know. I don't have words for it. It's so freaking creepy and weird. Like it like genuinely freaks me out, but let's keep going. The next story is about a boy named Cade who has started having nightmares at the age of 3 years old. As per usual to stories like this, with reincarnation, he had extreme nightmares, and he would even wake up screaming about falling and the Statue of Liberty and his legs being broken off, and this is all at the age of 3. As he was a young kid, he was really creative and he started creating drawings. He would draw 2 skyscrapers with a man falling out of them. His mother Molly, of course, began to consider if Cade was talking about 9/11. The 2 towers, like it just made sense and also would be very scary. Their episode of The Ghost Inside My Child has just disappeared. Like I cannot find it anywhere, and it's really freaking me out. So I don't know what that means, but let's continue. Cade started going into extreme detail about falling out of a building and dying. He would go into like pretty graphic detail about how he fell and everything, and it's really, really scary and sad. And he basically said that he was in a building that was hit by something and that it exploded and he fell. which is obviously really scary and tragic and would be really terrifying to hear from your 3-year-old kid. So he also began to insist that his name was not Cade. He would say a name, but his mom didn't want to disclose the name of the person because she found out that it was an actual victim of 9/11 and she didn't want to like affect the family. Obviously, even if he's going through a hard time, like he's still Cade, he's still their son, and a lot of people don't agree with or believe in reincarnation. So mother decided to keep the names private of the people that she found and the stories that she found that matched up to what Cade said, along with apparently Cade had a name that he kept saying was his name. So I don't know, I find it really interesting and also really scary. I mean, imagine if your kid, like, who is a 3-year-old and doesn't know anything about 9/11, like, you don't learn that when you're 3 years old unless it was, like, while it was happening. So heartbreaking and so sad, but it's also, like, really, really scary to me. Because I've seen quite a few 9/11 past life stories, and it's just really interesting because I'm like, what if some of them are real and it's just like they have to deal with like remembering that traumatic death, and that's just really heartbreaking and sad, but also like horrifying. I can't, for the parents, really most horrifying for. So the last story I'm going to be talking about is one of the most interesting ones I've found in a long time. It is so creepy and so crazy. Like I just like can't believe it because I know this is something they don't teach in school. It's pretty crazy that this kid came up with this, if it's true. And I don't know, when I watch the parents, I feel like it's different. I feel like I can gauge whether I think they're lying or not. And I feel like these parents like really were, you know, telling the truth because they seemed pretty shaken up about the whole situation. Once again, the story starts with a boy named Ken who had terrible sleeping patterns, extreme night terrors, would even tell his mother that he doesn't call her mommy because she's not his mommy. At least she is now. He would say like, you're my mommy now, but like you weren't before, which it just would be really freaky to hear. So the family's from Arkansas, and when Ken was 5 years old, they decided to take a trip to the Natural Bridge. However, the Natural Bridge was closed, so they kind of just kept driving and found like a little naturey path that they decided to stop at. So once they were on this nature walk, Ken's demeanor like completely changed. He was getting really, really anxious. He was really upset, and like it just was weird for him because he loved outdoors and he loved exploring and being in the woods and stuff. So it was really weird for him to just like switch up his whole attitude, and it was freaking his parents out a little bit. And he kept saying that he smelt fire. Like he was like, I smell fire, I smell fire. And his mom was like, no, like, there's a burn ban. Like you cannot light a fire in this area of Arkansas because it would create a bushfire. So like it was banned there. So then they started to leave the nature path, and Ken just completely started freaking out, like uncontrollably crying, like just screaming upset. And his parents were like, what is wrong? Like, is everything okay? He was just uncontrollably sobbing. And then he said that there was a Native American man named Forces, and he was ordered to bury any evidence that the Native Americans were ever there. And he was saying that he had to kill them all and that he was very upset about it, which is so absurd and so crazy because if you know anything about history in school, they don't really teach you much about Native American history and how brutal it was and how terrible it was for them. They do not teach you about that. Like, you know, they don't tell you that Christopher Columbus was a bitch. They don't tell you anything. Like, they really don't. They like, it's kind of absurd how much they leave out, I think. But especially at 5 years old, they're not telling you that at school. Like, especially, like maybe in high school you get more into depth about the truth. When you're 5, absolutely not. You learn about Thanksgiving and it's a lie, but you learn about it like that, and it's just so absurd. That's a whole nother video for me to rant about the school system and how they treat the history of Native Americans, because I don't think it's fair at all and really messed up. So Ken kept saying that he was a soldier and that he was forced to kill Native Americans and to burn any evidence of them ever being there. Which is something that did actually happen in history. He also kept calling himself Kit, which was really confusing to his mom. His mom was like, no, your name is Ken. Like, I've never even heard the name Kit. like, where'd you get that? And he was like, that's my name, like that was my name. But his mother did some research and found out that 4 C's was a major symbol in the Navajo creation story. And she also came across a soldier named Kit Carson. So Kit Carson was one of the many people that was in charge of driving the Navajo people out of their land. Kit Carson is like known to have even been super conflicted about it in his own actual life as Kit Carson. Because he was forced into being a soldier and he didn't want to do it. He did not want to hurt any Native American people. He even married a Native American woman, and it was just a really big internal struggle for him at the time because he knew that it was wrong to do what he was being told to do. He had to do it because he was forced to be a soldier at the time. Ken's mother decided to ask Ken if the name Kit Carson meant anything to him, and he immediately said, yes, that was me. It's so crazy because Ken's stories obviously really added up to Kit's sense of not only just like the fact that Kit was a person and a soldier and was part of the people who were like forcing the Navajo people out of their own land, hurting them and burning a lot of the evidence of them. It's just so weird. Like, that's one thing, but like the fact that Kit even was like known for feeling guilty about it, which was like kind of not really obviously a popular thing because it was happening, but like he was just like really conflicted about the situation. He felt so bad. He did not want to kill people, but it was like he was forced into it. It was the 1800s, so obviously things were different. It's just so sad and so freaky that that poor kid Ken has to like live with that guilt. Like, imagine living with a guilt of something that happened in your past life that you're not even sure is like a real thing, but it's like memories that you have and guilt that you have, even though it's like not, obviously this 5-year-old kid didn't do that. It's just really heartbreaking. So in the show, The Ghost Inside My Child, Ken and his parents actually went back to the woods area where he, you know, had told his parents what was going on and about Kit and everything. And they performed a ceremony so that he could ask for forgiveness for what his soul had done in a past life. And it's really like interesting to watch because right after this, the kid stopped having nightmares. He stopped talking about Kit Carson. It's just really interesting and really, really sad. Obviously, I don't know, I don't get why they don't teach you about Native American history and history in America, because it's, you know, it's American history. Like, it's like actually what happened. It was just awful and brutal, and history does not make it seem like that. So that's why I like actually really believe that one, is because I feel like not that many people, first of all, talk about what actually happened, and let alone a 5-year-old. Like I said, it is very, very watered down in history books today, especially for when you're 5 years old and under. Like, there's no way. So I don't know. I found that story to be very interesting, very chilling, very sad as well. Obviously, this 5-year-old child shouldn't harbor guilt for something that he might have done in a past life. Like, it's just, it's so sad. And also, it's really just sad in general. So yeah, like, sorry to leave it on like kind of a sad note, but I hope you guys found these stories very interesting. And sorry, I'm gonna cut to a clip again where I'm in the blue sweatshirt and not looking as cute, if I'm honest, so. But that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys liked it, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about these different past life experiences. If you have any, or if you know people that have any, let me know in the comments below. I find them very interesting as well as terrifying, but either way, interesting nonetheless. But that is it. Thank you again to Scentbird for sponsoring this video. Like I said, use this coupon code and click the link in the description box to get 30% off your first month. But that is it. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Snapchat, and Instagram, because I'm always posting some really dope ass shit on there. Subscribe for new videos every week, and I will see you guys later. Bye!